Hi, Karen Flaherty here from Living by Human Design. Hope you're doing well and hope you're having a great week. Today we're going to be talking about the Gate 27, which is the Gate of Responsibility, which just started in today, April 22nd. So we've got the Gate 27 in this week, and it's called the Gate of Nourishment, also called the Gate of Responsibility, and we're going to talk about that. So we've got the sun in gate 27 and the earth in gate 28, which is called the gate of struggle. So the gate 27 started this morning, April 22nd, early in the morning. It runs until April 27th. And we start the week with the G center and the sacral defined. So we've got the G center colored in and the sacral colored in because the 5 and the 15 both happen to be in other planets. And so those transits are in right now, and you might be feeling that. So you might be feeling like you have sacral energy, and you might be feeling like you have G center energy. What we've got are the gate 27 and 28, and what we don't have are all those other centers defined that we've had for the past few weeks. So you'll notice that the solar plexus is now open, the spleen is open, the root is open, and the throat is open. So those were all defined last week, and they might have kind of wreaked havoc with your week, but they're gone now. And so we're back to what should feel a little more usual, which is something like this for the rest of the week after today and tomorrow. Then it'll be back to something that looks like this, which is more like a reflector energy. It's just a few gates, none of them connected to anything else. Now, they might connect up for you in your chart, but generally for most of the world, they're not connecting up and they're not changing your chart too much. You might have one or two gates, like energy hookups, as we call them, where they come together, where you might have the gate 48 or you might have the gate 12, and then all of a sudden you have that colored in when you don't usually. But if you have it usually colored in, then it doesn't make a difference. So we're kind of back to normal in terms of these energies and the way we're feeling. I don't know about you, but I'm definitely happy that the energy of the solar plexus is gone. It feels much more like I'm in my own skin, in my own emotions, and it feels a lot better. It is the gate of responsibility, at least that's what I call it. It also is called nourishment or caring in the original I Ching. This is the enhancement of the quality and substance of all activities through caring. So literally, this is about the nurturing, the caring, the feeding, the education of children and animals and plants and vegetables and everything in the world that's sentient, everything that grows, right? It's the taking care of all of that. Whether you have a garden or you have children or you have pets, any of those things need care and feeding, right? And so that's what this gate is about. So if you don't usually have this gate in your chart, then you might feel this energy a little more this week. It's the kind of thing where you might feel a little more responsible. You might feel like you want to do something that's a little more nurturing, taking care of an elderly relative, or giving a call, or sending a note, or sending flowers or something like that, or cooking a big meal for people who now you can gather with. This is the kind of energy this week. It's not around any holiday or anything like that, but it's definitely the energy of getting together, being part of the family, of the tribe, of the culture, and getting together with each other. It's definitely the energy of having the people together and feeding them well. It's that kind of energy. In Jovian, it's the incarnation crosses this week of the cross of the unexpected, the cross of caring, and the cross of alignment. And in the Gene Keys, we call it the gate of, or the shadow is selfishness, which can be either self-sacrificing or self-centered. The altruism is the gift, and selflessness is the CD. So we're basically moving up the ladder, if you will, in the way we nurture. And in the Gene Keys, what Richard Rudd says is, to give is to receive. And so if we're giving, how are we giving? How are we receiving? How is that balance occurring in our lives so that it's helping the people that we love and perhaps other people as well? He also goes on to say that, just for example, we can give and give and give and think of that as charity. But if we give without some kind of intelligence behind it, it's charity. If we give with intelligence, it's philanthropy. And I hadn't heard that distinction before, and I thought that was kind of interesting. So if we're basically thinking about how we're giving and who we're giving to, and how that money is being used, and the results that are apparent as coming out of that, that's real philanthropy, and that's really helping the world, if you will. Whereas just giving to give is not helping usually. And also the other piece of it is that there's no victim or victimhood in real giving, right? That with philanthropy, we're helping raise everyone up, whereas with charity, you might just be giving to help people who are considered to be victims. So it's an interesting way of looking at it. It's definitely kind of a more evolved, if you will, way of looking at charity versus philanthropy, but something I'm going to look more into myself. And altruism's the gift, so that's where we're giving with some intelligence and also balancing, right? So that we're not overgiving. The self-sacrificing part of the shadow is about, for example, the mother or the father who's giving and giving and giving to their children without thinking of themselves at all. Right, where the mother who has many children and doesn't take care of her health and doesn't, just overgives too many of everything in the house. Those are kind of self-sacrificing without a balance, right? And so is self-centeredness, right? Where you're giving just to receive, and that doesn't really work either long term. The gate 28 is the gate of struggle, also called preponderance of the great, or the game player in the original I Ching, part of the individual circuit. And this is all about power and influence, but it can also be about the struggle that's inherent in usually the first 40 years, if you have this in your chart, and might indicate some struggle this week, so something to watch out for. But the idea here is that as in the Gene Keys, they say purposelessness is the shadow here, which means that life has no purpose. That life has no purpose, and why then is it worth living? So this is literally a gate that can lead to destruction, basically, or self-destruction early in life, especially in the late teens, early 20s. It's that kind of an energy where kids don't really think that there's a purpose to life, and they wonder what it's about. And so they do, unfortunately, get into addictions and things like that, and take a risk, if you will. And so this can lead to a risky behavior, or it can lead to behavior that's just kind of numbing out in one way or another. Totality is the gift here, and immortality is the CD. So we've got a few personalities who were born in this sun sign. This would be the cross of the unexpected, the cross of caring, or the left cross of alignment. And so people like, well, that's kind of funny, Shirley MacLaine and Jack Nicholson, I think they've worked together quite a bit. They both have it. Barbara Streisand, Michael Moore, Coretta Scott King, people who have, caring and nourishment and responsibility in their sun sign. And so in history, it was an interesting week in history because today, April 22nd, is Earth Day. And you can see how, in terms of responsibility, caring for the planet, caring for our families and tribes, this is how we take care of the next generation, right? By taking care of the planet in a way that allows for climate change to occur in a way that's good for everybody. And so it really is about it speaks to the channel of preservation, as this one is called. When the 27 meets the 50, it's called the channel of preservation. It's keeping everything preserved, right? Moving so that we're here for many, many generations. And so the first Earth Day occurred in 1970. The Holocaust Museum in DC was opened in 1993. Again, taking care of and remembering what happened in the past. On April 24th in 1800, the Library of Congress was first established in Washington, D.C. Again, caring, education, right? Nourishment of the population. In 61, Jack Kennedy took responsibility, sole responsibility, as he said, for the failed invasion in Cuba. Again, in this theme of responsibility, not surprising. In 1981, the first IBM personal computer was introduced. Hard to believe, it's only been 40 years since we've had a computer. Who can remember the time when we didn't have a computer, right? So this is, again, education and the care and feeding of the population and changing how we use both computers and the internet and moving forward for future generations to have all that information. Copernicus discovered Saturn during this week also. Nelson Mandela was made the president in South Africa in their first multiracial elections, again, moving the culture and the tribe forward. And in 1989, the protesting students were in Tiananmen Square in Beijing, again, trying to take care of and nurture the rights of all. So it was an interesting week in history, and I think you can see the themes there of responsibility and nourishment and caring and remembrance, right, for everyone. So thanks for listening. Have a great week. If you look below, you'll be able to see a link to the transit course that's available if you're wanting to learn more about the transits and how they operate in your life. And have a great week, and I will see you in the next report. Take care.